Good evening from Melbourne, Australia. This is Sam speaking, returning to do another session on crypto chart analysis. Today I will start with a tutorial for those people who are new to the industry and are new to chart analysis. So you could say it's another session for a learning curve. I will cover support and resistance comprehensively in this exercise, and then I'll talk about Bitcoin, what it's doing. I actually might do that first. Just a quick run over Bitcoin and Ethereum, then kick into the tutorial so people can stay or leave, and then we'll go from there. Probably people can't hear me at the moment because the mic wasn't next to me, so let me start again. I will cover support and resistance today for a lot of new people, and maybe I'll enhance the understanding on how to look at support and resistance from a number of angles, and I'll try to do a good job, and we'll take it from there. Now let me put this music down a bit. Meanwhile, I'll just wait for people to join us. Give it a few minutes. I think I would put on the YouTube screen. Okay, so let us also add the YouTube channel for those who want to follow it on YouTube. The YouTube channel, so let's do it. So if I see 7 online, give it a 2 minutes or 3 minutes or so as people join. Hopefully you can hear me clear. Hopefully I got some regulars. That was my physio chart. Just closing a few things down. How are we traveling? Hi there, love your charting. Can you see lit and TLM? Okay. Thank you. Rami Singh. I've been a bit lucky today, or last night. I made my entry. I don't think it's a fluke, but my entry, let me point you where I made my entry. How many people got on? 2 people online. Is it worth starting yet? They seem to come and go. Or are they joining YouTube? Not sure. I think I might have to open YouTube as well. They might be making comments as there, so might have to look at 2 screens at once, because I tend to look at TradingView for the commentary, and I might be forgetting the others. All right, come on. I'm going to write down. I'm going to write these down before I start. Sorry, guys, but I have all these charts that I might go through, and I'll need to close them. That way I split up my machine a bit. Okay, we've got 7 people. Bank. dot lin or linear Litecoin XMR Ripple FTM dash win true and TRX. Okay. Sorry guys, but something just went crazy on my machine. I'm not happy about that. I'm wondering if your screen's freezing. It was. It just crashed on me. So now I think now I think it's okay. After it crashes on me, now it's responding. That sucks. All right, maybe we can start. I was trying to close a few programs and it just stalled. And unfortunately, what I do is I leave too many browsers are open, as you can see. So that doesn't help. All right, now let's begin. Thanks for joining, guys. It looks like I've got to clean up my chart a bit here. So here's Bitcoin, and those who followed me in the past might be up to date with it. So let me just clean this up a bit because that's a mess now. So what happened is I didn't save prior to the crash, and that's what happens. So I've got to hide certain things on my screen. Should I just delete it? No, that will be too much work. Okay, let's do this. Cool. So today, Bitcoin has made its move, and if you look on the daily, what I spoke about last time was things to watch and levels to watch. And one of my concerns was this def cross, and you can see how that this level was, these two moving averages were starting to act like support. Once we broke these lines decisively, it became support. And you can see across here, there's confluence that this level was significant. I still want my charts lines, and I want to explain a few things. So where are we? What I might do is just, okay. So that's the daily chart. And from a daily perspective, I did say that this level here, right here, was significant. Just a method that we use. And I did also say a few levels of resistance within that. So on the day, you can see that this level is significant resistance. And where's my, okay. I'm not going to talk about the past because it's pretty evident what's taken place. And you can see this impulse move, higher lows and high highs. And now we're coming to this critical zone. And if I go to the, I think it's the, all right, I'll do the 4 hourly. I'll put the auto in there. This level, yeah, I actually got it there. So I'll just hide this one for just the time being. And you can see my fib level here. If I move that across, and now you're going to see how price respects this fib level. If I get rid of the moving averages for the time being, you can see price respected that level on the way up, and that was a fib level retracement 0.5. And now price was finding here a bit of a resistance, the 0.618, and good for us. It's broken it decisively, so it's likely to use this as support. And if you look across, and remember that there's many layers of resistance and support, and we have this significant resistance here. This is the main one, and I'll make that in yellow. That is a significant resistance there, and you can now understand that it acted as support in some instances. Resistance there, resistance there, resistance, support, and in a big way, because when price came up, it was the one that stopped everything and went down. And when price came up again, it stopped it again. So this yellow line is the most significant resistance level out. So we haven't reached there yet, and we'd probably like to reach there, and it's my gut feeling that we will get a significant pullback. So, well, what's significant? We'll get a response. So here we had a response, and it pulled back, not too much, but it did pull back. And so this yellow level, which is about 59,500, I doubt it will get to 60,000, but that might be the case, where we will get a rejection. And the fact that we had 1, 2, 3 impulses, this is going to be the third impulse. If this was to pull back and break it decisively, then it could use it as support, just like this one here. So this scenario here, if it was to do that, break up. Actually, I'll give you a better way of doing that. If it grinds like this, it's not going to work. If you have price grinding like that, you can see it just doesn't work. What you want to see is price do what it just did under resistance, and then bang, break through it. So far, let me just change the color on that. I'll pick white. So far, we had a resistance and support, and we broke through this resistance line decisively. So it's this level is likely to hold and consolidate. So if this was to hit there, it's going to consolidate, and it will try and make another effort. That's where what we need to watch. How likely is it to break it? Based on this first attempt, complete rejection. So when this comes there, the first touch will be the rejection. It's just, that's what you should put in your mind when you're doing trading. That first touch is usually a good rejection. And then if price holds that level, holds at a significant level, then what it can do is wear it down. Okay, so this is the area to watch. This band has always been so let me put the band there. This band is the layer that we need to break. How likely are we to break it? Now, that's the key question. I don't know, to tell the truth. My expectation is that we come to the second band. Okay, this second band is definitely a rejection area, but it could be the most bullish move. Now, let's have a scenario. Let's look at a historical perspective from a fib level. Okay, so if price was, let me see if I can find one. So from there to there, the bottom to there, I can demonstrate that when price dropped from here, that significant level, what did it do? It found 0.5 fib level as resistance. It did double top and then down. Then he did another effort and he broke that 0.5, but then he found the 0.6 as resistance and he came down to find support, and then we had that rally. This is a good scenario. So if you compare this to this, this is slightly a bigger structure, but it's got the similarities of this, so that, doesn't it? So the lessons could be learned from there. So what lessons can we learn? Well, I got my fib level. So if I put this fib here, just over this one, and I'll just bring this across. So what's happened here so far? We're going to compare it to this one, right? 0.5 on when it bounced, got the dead cat bounce, went all the way down, found its support, and that's pretty much what we did. Price came up. In this case, it didn't quite make it, but pulled back and hit the 0.65. Similarly here, rejection, and we hit the 0.6, and we passed it. So I'm looking for this level, because the fact that we broke it, we potentially can hold this, well, or potentially drop as well. So this is going to be very important. The first touch, I think right here, you can see that support, resistance, support. I mean resistance, resistance, resistance. So that level, to me, is very significant, that one there. And we're almost there. I got a sell price there. So I've already I'm putting my Bitcoin sell there. And I've explained in the past, I don't sell Bitcoin as my long-term ones. I'm trading the Bitcoin that I bought here. So I bought Bitcoin, I think I bought Bitcoin there, and I bought Bitcoin down there. But this one is the long, I'm going long with that one. And this one here, I'm gonna pretty much do that trade there. So I've got two strategies, right? One is all cash, and the other one is accumulation of Bitcoin. So my entry was there. I'm going to sell there because, as I said, it's likely to get a rejection, and that's okay. It might come back down here, and we can do a bit of a triangle formation and just break up, and then maybe come down again. Whatever the case may be, this level, if we were to break this level decisively, then we can continue on, which I find very hard to accept. It's very bullish, but it might be the case. I can't tell you anything at this point. All I can tell you is there was a good entry on a number of levels. Now we're coming to the difficult stage, which is that, and no one can tell you what's going to happen. No one. No one can tell you it's going to go up, down. All I can tell you is, looking at this previous chart level, this is strong resistance. I'm going to find strong resistance with the first touch. I might as well sell. And just to make a point, like I said, I like to back up my words. Where am I? Here. And just a sec, and I'll show you what I mean. So here's an example of, because you might want to understand certain things. No, I didn't want to do that. What I'll do is, you can see where I entered my Bitcoin there, which is roughly around here. And I'll raise my stop limit to that white level. And you can see where I put my price to sell, which is about, I don't know, 59,400. I'm not going greedy. And I'm looking to sell there. So I've entered there, looking to sell there. I mean, raising my stop, which is good practice, underneath the whole structure. So if it was to come down, it wouldn't go down below that. So I'm giving a trading strategy, and then I will sell there, close my thing there. Okay. So that's how I approach it. And I just thought I'll just back up my words as to what I'm be saying. Where do you go? Where's the chart go again? Okay, so that's what I got for Bitcoin at the moment. In a way that you can look at this chart from a weekly perspective. So what happened also on the monthly, we just closed the monthly chart, and the monthly is pretty good. So if we look at the monthly chart, where are we? And what I'm going to do is just hide a lot of that stuff, fix all that. You can see the monthly is bullish, right? Look at the candlestick on the monthly. Just bear with me, guys. I want to get onto the YouTube channel so I can make sure if there's people asking questions that I can answer those ones as well. There am I. There I am. Okay, so there's no comments on YouTube. Cool. What I want to do is trading view. When my browser crashed, I lost all those settings and what people might be asking. So just bear with me for a sec while I catch up. All right, there I am. So the monthly, if you compare to, I don't know, previous months, this candlestick on the monthly, now I've got to disable these buggers on the monthly, don't I? All right. So obviously that line there, if I look in closer, you can see where a monthly support ended right there under that red candlestick. Also make that thinner and zoom in a bit. That will be our monthly support, which will be a very strong support line. Okay. That is very, very, even though we had a significant range, crazy range, when you look at it, that's crazy, right? From there to there, our monthly candlestick. But the way it's ended is, it's not a hammer, but the thing is the majority, the wick is significantly bigger than the top wick. So the pressure is upwards with the monthly. And I can't see a reversal coming in, but you can see it where the resistance is at the wick. So this monthly candle is started off pretty bullish. And then if we go to the weekly, even the weekly, what it did, engulf the previous weekly candlestick. So that is bullish in a way as well. The weekly is bullish significantly just by looking at the candlesticks. And so our weekly resistance level, so let me go back a step. In this exercise, I did say part of it is educational, that I'll talk about support and resistance. And I'm showing you right now using the candlesticks to determine support and resistance, aren't I? So this is the method that you should use. And I've demonstrated it a few times in the past. Get the body of the candle on the weekly and just jot it down. All right, what I'm going to do is I'll make it orange so we know it's a weekly chart, weekly level. This body of the candle here is a weekly. Now, I see these two levels significant. I'll get rid of this one for the time being. Because when price came up, it found this as the main resistance for whatever reason. It's probably the Fibonacci extension, most likely. And even though the price went up and found new resistance, as far as I'm concerned, this is our support line. And we passed it. So when we break past it, it's going to be a long-term support line. So whatever happens above here, this is going to be strong support from a level. And you should leave that on your chart. Then the following, then we've got this other weekly line, right? So we've got this weekly resistance. And if I was to look at it's exactly 60,000. Okay, so the body of the candle is 60,000. Then we've got these in between ranges are there. And you can see the current one is going to find this one as the closest resistance level on the weekly. I need my glasses, bloody. So that's where our next resistance is. Let me find my glasses. There we go. So I would definitely use the weekly in terms of identifying your support and resistance levels. Just jot them down. You don't have to think much about it. Just use the body of the candle, find your level, right on the bottom. So you need a good screen to find the exact. And now what we can do is we've identified what's important at this level. And now we're going to go to the daily. And I could, just for the time being, hide this. And you see confluence, don't you? Now we're going to look at confluence. So this price, as soon as it touched the weekly resistance, you got the wick. Now, that's one way of identifying support and resistance, just using the body of the candles on the weekly. And there's also the daily ones, but it's a bit extra work. If the candlesticks tell us where the majority of resistance is and support is, that's one way of doing it. It's just one element. The other way of finding support and resistance is Fibonacci. So you get your Fibonacci tool, you find your levels. I use 0 right there as a reference, and the top as my height. Now, the hard part to this is confluence, because the wick doesn't necessarily mean that's a good part, good reference point, because it's a wick. So if I was to use this level, so what I'm doing now is I'm adjusting my chart. And if I can just hide the previous one, give me a sec. So that's going to confuse you. So that one there, where is he? That's the one there. Smooth that up for a sec. So now you can see when I move my Fibonacci, the 0.382 is perfectly there. The 0.5 is acting as support and resistance, and my 618 is there. So I use the bottom 0 roughly there. I ignored this one, and I adjusted my fib levels so I can make sense of support and resistance using Fibonacci. This is a method. And now I'm looking at, well, I had one resistance there. Now I'm having the weekly level as resistance. So it's never the one. It's never always Fibonacci or weekly candlestick or monthly candlestick. It could be the moving average as well. So we got so we're talking about support and resistance. So we have candlesticks that will define support and resistance. We have Fibonacci that will define support and resistance. And we have moving averages that will define support and resistance. So if I was to get my moving averages onto this chart, there you go. The daily 10 moving average acted as support. So now I've got Fibonacci and the daily moving average in confluence supporting each other. I've got two that they agree that that's support. Mate, that is the best place to buy. And that's why you see the wicks in the daily, and that's why it went up. Because we had the 0.5 and the moving average on the weekly. Oh, sorry, the daily. These are the things that determine your decision. Now, what else will determine it is based on overall trend. So trend is very important. So we have an upward trend and we have the structure that says this is a good level as well. So support and resistance tells you where to buy and where to sell using this method. The more you have, if you have three elements, if you have moving average, Fibonacci, and candlesticks all agreeing where there is support or where there's resistance, that's the spot you buy or that's the spot you sell. Does that make sense? So right now we have the weekly on Bitcoin acting as resistance. That's confluent over across here. I don't think it will hold long at this moment, but we don't know. So we can see the red candlestick coming down, and I thought it might come up to this point. It might not come up easy, but give it time. Okay, so that's our 4-hour chart, and we talk about how we find support and resistance. The last element is trend lines. Trend lines are support and resistance as well. Yeah. So if I put that there, make it bigger, that is clearly support and resistance. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, definitely 4 touches there, right? That trend line is resistance, no matter what. It's not horizontal. So I see trend lines pretty much acting as support and resistance as well. Even if they're in formation, they tend to do that. So right here, same. It acted, as you can see, 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. Once you get the third touch, it's confirmed as resistance, and that pretty much is the same. But all support and resistance can break based on price action, and your job is to understand what's happening. And in this case, a broadening wedge or descending broadening wedge is a bullish thing. This one is also a descending broadening wedge, is a bullish formation. And if you do what I do, you count your A, B, C, D, E, same, A, B, C, D, E. This one's a bit tricky, but that's the case. The trend lines will give you a method of selling and buying. And if you have the formation identified early, that makes a big difference. So trend lines become support and resistance, and in this case, although it was a bit complicated, that was a trend line, and that was the second trend line. I tend to find 2 trend lines. There's always, not always, but in most of the cases, there are trend lines that act as resistance and support with 2 layers. One will break the other. Okay, now I've said that, and I've pretty much covered that. That is a quick tutorial on support and resistance, I suppose. There is much more to understanding a chart, which is trends. But what I want to cover here is trend lines. I'm sorry, resistance, and all the components that make that happen. So this was support. This trend line was support, and we had one touch, two touch, third touch, and because we break that, it becomes a selling point. So you need to identify your trend lines and understand if it's broken, what it means, and if it passes, what it means. So this trend line here, which is pretty much a bump and run phase, once that was resistance and it broke, it becomes support. And you can see the perfect line. Now, in this case, if I was to just highlight one or two things. Now I can get that one there. And geez, I draw a line, didn't I? You can see that this line here also played a role, ever so slightly. So we actually had two lines that were relevant in this phase. One was here where it acted as support, and then both of them came together here, which made it a significant support level, and up it went. That's my interpretation to this. Now we have what I think, and maybe not, is a channel. Right now, that looks like a channel to me. And maybe I should do that. And the middle line. So what we're having price doing? We're having price to there. Maybe I should just grab that. And price coming there, hitting the top, and you can see it's getting shorter and shorter, which telling you it can act like a ascending wedge. So if we fall short, either it's going to find support somewhere there or further down. That will be, so when we break that resistance, whoops, I'll get rid of that. Now I'm making the assumption that we're going to get a significant resistance here, and currently it looks like we're having this formation, another bottom. Let's get rid of that for a sec. And get rid of those arrows. If we were to draw our lines, now the thing is, this one, you can adjust this because the wick's part of that price action. If that's our line and it's broken, it's time to short it. And what happened there? Sorry guys, but I don't know what happened there. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Doing well. Past few days I've been actually busy with my kids. They've been not well. And so, sorry guys, but I've been busy looking after my kids and getting derailed from trading. So this line I will tell you to look out for. Very similar to all the other trend lines. Once a trend line is broken, you can expect something to go downwards. I'm not going to tell you how much it's going to go down, but I expect as this is going up, but there is less momentum. Now, if I was correct to say that this was a significant resistance level, well, that fits into the ascending wedge formation, doesn't it? So if I was to say that's where resistance is, it's likely to go down, and the target will be that level or that level. Potentially, we might find support here, which I think that was, so what we do then, using Fibonacci, look for support. So if that was the level, just say that was a level right at the top there, my 0.5 potentially could be support, or the 0.618. So I do expect a rejection, like I said, and potentially I'll pull back. I hope that's, I hope they're good now. But yeah, they are. Thanks, mate. Spent about 4 hours in the hospital yesterday, just waiting for someone to see my youngest one. He has the virus, and he gave us a bit of a scare with his temperature and coughing. Anyway, he's all good today, thank God. And thanks for asking. So, but yes, your method has helped me a lot in looking for patterns, supporting out. Good. Hopefully you keep learning and maybe contribute to this channel as well. So you can see my hypothesis so far. Now, what supports me thinking this is an ascending wedge? That's a good question, right? An ascending wedge should come with, and if it's going to break down, the tools should tell you, the indicator should tell you. So what I did yesterday, I think it was today actually, and I'll bring it out. I said FTM, and you can look at this chart. So very, very much similar, and you can see here that I have a bearish divergence. Pretty much MACD is telling us a bearish divergence in this ascending wedge. That's what tells you it's going to break down. So if I was to and I said short it, and if I play that forward, so far so good, right? So that once that line's broken, you can see what price did. Now the question is, how much will it drop? Well, that's a different question altogether. But the tools indicators supported my ascending wedge, because I've seen a bearish divergence come in as well. So let's look at Bitcoin and see if there is what the indicators are telling us. So let me, I'll save that. Actually, I might pick another screen. All right, here we go. No, that's Ethereum. I think I had that as Bitcoin. Let me see, Bitcoin, USDT. I had a separate chart there. All right, we can use this. I don't have to touch the other one. What we can do, the way I drew this chart is pretty much very alike but different in some ways, just looking at it from a different perspective. And you can see my Fibonacci. Okay, that was all my stuff in the past. And what I want to do, I'll get rid of that. Look at the indicator, and you can see my indicator. This is the 4 hour. This indicator is telling me so far so good. All right, it's already telling me that this indicator is confluent with price. Now you can see that sort of matches that, right? So if this indicator breaks down this level, it's going to drop, and pretty much the prices will do the same. One might be quicker than the other, but you've got to keep an eye on it. So this indicator is supporting my thesis because this is also showing me an ascending wedge, very much like that. Does it show me a bearish divergence? Not really, no. But if this was to cross over, yeah, definitely. So if I had this signal cross over, where are we? Don't forget these lines, these signals are crossing over, right? Every time they cross over, what happens? Price drops. So if I have these two signals cross over, that is potentially that pocket there. If that was to cross over, at the moment, this little thing here tells me the distance between the two signals. If this was to start coming down, that means these lines are coming towards each other to cross over. But sometimes it does this crap, and it confuses the hell out of you because it crosses over a few times. So sometimes not so clear. But this one is being clear at the moment. Does that make sense? So now I use wave trend. I also use this Phoenix to determine momentum in a short time and a long term. So if I looked at MACD now, chuck the MACD on. Does the MACD show bearish divergence? It sort of is at the moment. From there, that histogram to that histogram, we're having a bit of a drop from this level to that level. That drop was played out, wasn't it? There was a bearish divergence. That was a correction. So when this area crossed out, started coming down, that was the signal for my bearish divergence to play out, and that's the correction there. That was a correction. Now we're having this histogram coming up. If this was to go above higher than this one, then this is going to be not an ascending wedge, but most likely a channel. So we can have a channel, or we can have an ascending wedge. So far, I'm leaning towards ascending wedge, not a channel. Okay, so that let's look at this one here, for instance. That was this an ascending wedge, or was this a channel? See how it makes a difference? Because the formation kept going up. So if this formation keeps going up, then it becomes a channel with the bottom of the channel being support. So these are the little things that you need to look out for with indicators and how you use them. And the most important part is getting the right time frame as a reference point. At the moment, what we can see with the MACD, this signal is lower than that signal, which is confluent with price. If this signal is at the same level or lower, then it becomes a bearish divergence, and most likely, and if this keeps dropping, we see price, if price was going up and signal was going down, then that's downward pressure building up. And therefore, you need to see where the crossover is for the MACD, if you're using the MACD, to sell or short. So you need to look at that as well with signals. So trend lines show support, and the top line could show resistance, and the indicators will help you navigate through it. Okay. So let's pick one of my charts. FTM. just to emphasize this message. Formation, bearish divergence, bullish divergence, and so on. So here, this is another stochastic RSI, and you can see how this is supporting my thesis on price is going to drop. So we had this going up, but you can see the signals all dropping. So the stochastic was dropping as well every time it turned. And what you're seeing is each one is lower than the previous. And that's why we had this pullback. Now we're at the bottom. So on this stochastic on the 4 hour, now that we're at the bottom, it could potentially be our support. Coincidentally, you can see the 10 and 20 moving average is in place. And here we pretty much hit the bottom. So this could go sideways before it starts going up. And that will be my signal. And looking at this, if the MACD was to cross over, that will be my entry signal, depending on what level it did it on. So you also use those signals to enter. And it takes a while for you to look at all these elements and put it together for a trade, a good setup. Yeah, FTM. So what I did with FTM, I did sell based on my chart, on my post. And I said, I just sold it before it dropped. And I sold it for Bitcoin. So lucky I did that. Look at that. Bitcoin went up. I sold that one. Perfect decision. Sometimes I'll get it right. So FTM. All right, let's have a look at FTM. Getting a bit derailed, but if you've got any questions about what I just spoke about support and resistance, just raise the question and I'll answer it. Now, why did FTM drop? Well, can you guess? That was the other reason I was interested in selling. Double top as it approached, all-time high. Hello, we've got bearish divergence with the indicators and with the candlesticks, and then hello, the last one, which is context, and that is double top, all-time high. That gives you a good reason to sell. And it doesn't mean it's going to pull back deep. It just means that for that opportunity, there is one. Now let's look at this trend. Is it a good time to buy? Well, I'm using the 4-hour chart, and the 4-hour chart. So let's go through the strategy. Where's my resistance support there? All right, that was actually my first target. Looks like. So that's my previous resistance acting as support. All right, resistance, support, bullish candle, buy in. However, it's not a good time to buy because it's close to all-time high. So it wasn't a good point to jump in if you were to do that. If you were, you should have just did a one-to-one type of thing, buy in and sell. Now let's see how we got that line across. Currently it's acting as resistance. The 4-hour MACD is still. So look at this histogram. The histogram tells you the distance between these two lines, and they're getting wider. So at the moment, it's not telling me anytime soon, try to get in. Okay, so while these two lines are getting wider and wider apart, it's telling me there's more downward pressure. So right now, there's nothing that tells me to jump back in. What I would like to see, and what happens generally, when you break the trend, I find when you do break the trend or you find your top, the moving average, in this case, yeah, it's my 10 and 20. The 4 hours not going to do the job anymore because it's played its purpose. 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one. This is going to go sideways. This might just try to do another little effort and then down. So trying to find support here, and we'll get our fib levels out and see why. If that's my one reference. Yep, the 618 is becoming, or the 3, well, let's reverse that. I tend to do it the other way around. Daily price. And here we go. Let's just go to the basics. Daily price, and that's it. And you can see that the 0.382 was acting as support as the first test. No, I didn't want to do that. It's pretty clear. Oh, far out. So I do expect that. What tends to happen when price is rejected at a level, it comes back down. It tries to hit it again. And then you might find a bit short. You might fall short, and then you can say it's a double top. So what happens is our price going like that, and then you find that in general it becomes a format, like a descending or a descending triangle, whatever you want to call it. I can't remember what that one is called. And it fills that formation of the top formation and the breakout point short. So in this case, no, don't want to do that. We can imagine that this currently might take place. So let's see how this goes. It's either going to do a double top. At the moment, we've got these two lines. And this is either going to try to rally up and then drop. It's just not going to get the momentum. Or it's going to do one even more, which is pretty much, and find support somewhere around here. I would use then the 8-hour chart. Okay, then the 8-hour chart becomes my friend. And so what I'll be looking for on the 8-hour is this level. Now on the 8-hour, this becomes area of interest, because now my 10 and 20 moving average, my 20 is now on the 8-hour, and the 10 is not that significant anymore. It's still using it, but I feel it's breaking down. This is my area of interest, which is close to these two levels. And when if price does come down here, which I'm hoping, and I'll see a bullish candle that engulfs the previous one or some setting, that will be my buying signal. And I'll expect the trend to go up. And I'll put my stop loss, depending on where it is, stop loss there. If I enter there, as the price goes up, I raise my stop loss and keep raising it as price goes up. But for the gut feeling right now, I think there's going to be a deeper pullback to the 0.5, basically matching this area. The 8-hour chart probably do good service to us. I could be wrong. It could be the 4-hour still might be still bullish, and then we just need to check it out. But there is nothing there for me to say jump in at the moment, because that red candle just pretty much nullify that. We've got another 2 hours. Let's see what happens to this candle in the next 2 hours. If that candle turns out to be green, and then I'll jump in, which means that it breaks that. Well, what does it mean? It breaks this resistance level, doesn't it? So you can see this area where all the wicks are. This is resistance. So if this turns green and goes up, that is bullish. And yeah, that'll be my signal for jumping in. But at the moment, that's where it is. The other aspect is you can look at the smaller time frames and go for 15 minutes and see what kind of structure is coming out of it. Is there anything bullish in that structure? Now I'm looking at small time frames for an entry. All right, so this one was pretty clear on the smaller time frame. As soon as it broke that level, you can see retest and then down. So that was a reverse pattern. And now we have this, which could be a bullish pattern. Currently, you can see, hold on. Currently, you can see what's going on, right? Maybe I see it, but currently, that looks all right. So maybe my signal is if it breaks this level, both this trend line and this fib level might be my signal to go in, because you can see along this fib level, it's always been resistance and support. So that I would like to see it break there, and that will qualify that bullish candle. Hope that makes sense. So sometimes you need to go into the small time frames to find an entry point. That's a breakdown. So as soon as it did that, that was an exit point. The bigger time frames don't show that. It doesn't show that. But you can see how it's all over the place. Now the question is, do we have anything here? No, maybe. Actually, might be a bullish formation. So if I was to do this, and if price was to come down here and then bounce, I'm interested. I might be interested in buying here actually. Look at that. So that band, just around there, that might be an interesting area to go into. Yeah, that might make sense as well, because then we have our A, B, potentially C, D, E up, order 1, 2, 3, a continuation pattern. So we might just get a double bottom here. If this comes down, this might be the signal to buy in. Looks like it. We've got one touch here. So now we've got two touches. If this turns out to be a bullish candle, the 4 hour still works, not the 8 hour. So there's a lot that could potentially play out, and I would look for price. I wouldn't buy price on this breakout. I would look at for more so price. This might be a good entry point, because right there, support, resistance, or support. That's a good area. Now you can also look at the moving averages, and that might make more sense as well. Okay, that's what I got at the moment. That's for FTM, and talking about things in general, how to look at a chart, how to approach it, and moving averages, and so on. Now let's see what Bitcoin's doing just for a short second. Yep. Can you give me a minute while I go to the toilet, and I'll be back. Stay online. Don't go away. All right, I'm going to piss over you. I was going to call first. What do you want? You want a carrot? Yeah. You don't have carrots. Yeah. You got your mess. What do you? Come back.
Battery 100%.
Okay. What's Bitcoin price? Okay. Not many people asking questions, are they? Let me look at YouTube. No one's asking questions there, and probably they don't. I don't think anyone's watching YouTube. Okay. One gentleman. So what do you ask for? Who's up there? Lit and tell them. Okay. Let's get a chart out. Lit. Oh, is that lit for LIT? Can you see LIT? Yeah. No. LIT. My message up? No. Nothing called LIT. Not sure what I meant by LIT and TLM. Can you see lit NTLM? I don't know what that means now because I don't have any coin. Ah, hold on, that's index. That doesn't help. Stupid me. Sorry about that. It's on the wrong. Oh, looked out too late, didn't we? 15 minutes and it's already gone. Ah, okay. Wish I would have looked at it before. Yeah. So what do you see there? Basically, you see a formation that's thoughts on Ethereum. I'll get there. So what's happened is obviously we had a nice high and a gradual descent, organized matter, and we found support here. And what it is you see that there was an attempt to support there, and that failed, and then there was an attempt to support here, and that was successful, and that broke that resistance line there. Then price came to this resistance level and pulled back. However, this trend line was tested a few times, wasn't it? A number of times. So it became, in a way, a descending wedge. And this level here became support, like before. So that looks like an inverse head and shoulders at the moment. So if I was to, too late for me now, but if I was to say what the target was, initial thoughts will be that on the breakout. So that will be my first target. And now that it's past this level, potentially second target. Now, if I was to do that, and I go, okay, what else can validate that target? Okay, so it's probably more likely. Definitely the double top will be an issue. This level will be definitely an issue. As you can see, this fib level is already acting as resistance right there. All right. So definitely does have, well, it's done a big move. My guess will be it'll do a bull flag, a bull flag here of some sort, and then either reach this or get close to it, and then down. Yeah, and then it'll play out some big macro formation on there. If this was to go, so here this was a big build up. All right, that was a big build up, and therefore you have this big move. There is no big build up here. There is an inverse one, but the impulse is not going to be as strong as this one, which took a long time to go get that level. So it's unlikely that this is just going to go, in my opinion, bang all the way up like that. 618 is the main resistance. So if this was to break, if this was to go higher, I don't see it going past this level in the short term on the 618. And I would expect that to come back down like a lot of the alts have done when they hit that level. So double top or that level would be my impression where it's going to. But definitely that was the buying spot there, and I didn't see it, so it was too late for me to jump in that one. But the other one was lit, wasn't it? Lit. What's lit called? So let's. Well, you can see what lit's done. Is this, no, it's not linear. So what's the, okay, I remember this one. So let's look at the why is it coming now? Okay. I can't get rid of this cough, guys. I'm sorry. It's been over a month and I still can't get rid of it. All right, let's look at the 4 hour. So this is pretty much playing out like most of the alts, to tell the truth. And it does my head in trying to figure out why it's taking so long. So Ada did this. So if you look at a lot of the alts, they've all done this one, right? They've all done this. No matter how many you look at them, they've all done this pattern. It's like, are they all synchronized or what? And that is the level to trade. The way it's done it, it's going to retest this, and chances are it'll go back, will go up. Okay, that's what I think. If I was to compare this, all right, let's pick another chart. I know which one's advanced in the structure, but this is a reaccumulation structure, but this one doesn't have much history, does it? Okay, so now if I look at link. Okay, here we go. 4 hour. Link will be more advanced, won't it? Let's see. No, link's not related to this one. No, that won't work. Maybe I'll do ADA. Just to make the point. ADA's got a bit more, actually, can't argue. If you look at ADA, so well, let's look at this, right? We've got the bottom level. We can raise that bottom level just a little bit to there. And we've got the top level. So obviously that's the top. And then we've got this mini levels. And what you do is you apply your Fibonacci to them. And then you'll see confluence. So if I do this right, that seems to do the job at the moment. No, it doesn't. Let's do this way. That's better. Okay, you can see confluence with this fib level and a bit over. And so you will find major resistance there with ADA. You can see it's slightly bit more advanced, but again, so what ADA's done, this level was its major resistance when it came back down. So what it's done is it's done a double bottom here on the structure, a number of, you can say pretty much 3 strong resistance levels. It's found support here, and now it's looking to go up. And it's going to find draw opposition. This time around, I think it will just be a shakeout, either underneath or above, depending how this breaks up. And then I think ADA's going to make the move. I don't think this is a top formation. If this was to come down, ADA's going to maybe we'll do a third top, third bottom. Yeah, we'll do a third bottom, but I think ADA's going to go up first. Volume doesn't give you much. In this scenario, it's doing what I think what. So yeah, that's my lit analysis. It's going to go up to there. It's going to consult. It's going to be there for a short time, and then it's going to get momentum to go to the next level. So what is that? It's not bad, 20%. So if I remove that and I go to DOT, so I bought DOT recently because I saw something similar to this. And it's trying to go, but so you can see the formation again. This formation, it's got two levels. And DOT is pretty much ready to go because it's not dropping. Unless Bitcoin drops hard, this is not going to go down. So similarly to ADA, we apply the fib stuff. So it's already broken the 0.382 level, and you can see the confluence where there's, it's not clear, but it is definitely there on the bottom. Resistance is slightly higher. So it's not this fib level, but slightly higher, and that's where we got DOT not going anywhere yet. So it's got resistance on a number of factors there. The fact that we broke, this is a weird one, the fact that the middle section did this, it's a bit scary because this is like a week off redistribution type of scenario. And where is that one? Here's my week off charts. So you can see these week off charts. I think this one there. So you've got 1, 2, third top, and then down. Okay, so DOT might look like that. This is a top left top down. So we don't have that, but we do have this one where it comes from the bottom, hit a main resistance level, and then coming down. So there's a few coins that might fall into these scenarios. Okay, like look at this wedge, and then down. So got to be careful about being overly bullish with FR chart goals. And I think many of Ethereum and all the rest are doing well. Doesn't mean they're all going to do well. Some of their structures is basically saying they're falling short of an accumulation. So here's the opposite. This is the bullish version. Price comes up. Yeah, price comes up from the left. Finds 3 bottoms here in this case. And then there's a shakeout period, and then off it goes. So you can see this. Many other coins have done this. But it doesn't mean all the coins are going to do it. And so when I look at, where am I? No, that's not the chart. I lost my reference point. Where are we? This is a new chart, but where else I put it? Here we go. I'm looking. Come on. Which one do I have? Oh, DOT, that's right. So you can see some of this I'm expecting DOT to go up and not go down like a distribution structure, but a continuation structure. So 3 touches to the bottom, 1 big at the top. So this for DOT. If it breaks there, I would definitely say get into it. That will be your signal to get into that DOT. In terms of ADA, I'm not going to jump into ADA until I see it break this level here, which is about $1.45. It's been disappointing, ADA, and look how it dropped really hard. So this could be ADA. We have a lot of expectations, but yeah, we've got to see what happens here. It's a key area. If it goes below this, I'm not interested, and if it goes above this, then I'm interested. I'm not interested in this area at all. I'd rather play it safe. Okay, so what have we got? Have you touched Ethereum already? Not really. So let's have a look at Ethereum. Okay, I did a lot of scribbling in the past. So what I'm going to do is clean up a bit. So on my left, I'm going to put Ethereum against USD. And if you haven't watched my video streams, I've talked about Ethereum and how I progressed. So none of this is new. These are all my old charts. And that was my target for Ethereum, which was at 31,600. Yeah, sorry, 3,160 or so. Because I had this fib level. Why aren't you drawing crap? Yeah, so I had that fib level there, which is a golden ratio, and you can see what I expected. So it's pretty much on the mark right now. And I do expect Ethereum, let's go to the 12-hour, probably less crammed up. Yeah, I do see that as a, let's say, auto. Come on. So that was a trend line. And that could be a supporting trend line on the way down, this one here. This could potentially be a supporting trend line on the way down. That's why I had this little notch. So I had the first target, second target, third target. And you can see my third target was 133. And this was done some time back. I do see a retracement. So you can see when Ethereum hits its target, it does pull back, target, pull back, target. I expect a pullback. And if it breaks, so here's the thing. There's no reason why it can't go up, but it will definitely. I don't think it'll hold. I think it'll spill over. So it could overperform and then come down. And I better pay attention to that because it might be time for my Ethereum to go to Bitcoin. Just flip some. I know, flip some of it back. And you can see this moving average coming to this level. So which one's that? That's the weekly. So that's my weekly moving average for Ethereum. And you can see how the weekly moving average of 10 was support. Weekly moving average of 10 was support. And if this continues and comes sideways while this drops, the 10 weekly could be support again. And there'll be a good entry point. Don't be over bullish. Now let's see what the indicators tell us. Yeah, so we are, like this one's gone sideways. Still, that is very bullish. It's not going to just drop. I'd like to see something like this before I can say it's going to start dropping, where it starts to bend down. Not yet. This is up. So what is this? This is a 12-hour. It's still upwards. So Ethereum is looking to pass that level. And it doesn't surprise me. But yeah, so I think when Ethereum comes to this indicated level, if it makes it, I think it'll drop. And you can see here, for instance, all right, when price is going up, we have this indicator dropping. Yep, or flattening out, say, and then down. So that's a bearish divergence. This will be a bearish divergence if this crosses over. So this is the 12 hourly, and we had a crossover there, and on the way down. So if we have a crossover here, that it's a signal that we're going to start turning. So I will look for the daily crossover on this signal. At the moment, it's not there. My first crossover, and if you look at previous crossovers at a high, right there, crossover at that level. So if I look at that level, I'll be looking to find Ethereum start turning. At the moment, no, it's not close yet. And give the next 12 hours to a day to get a bit of confirmation. That's my thoughts on Ethereum. All right, Litecoin, I already did a post on Litecoin. So my Litecoin chart, where is he? Let me have a look around. That's my Neo. I can close that for a sec. So what I'm going to do is bring Litecoin. Where are you? I must have closed it. Okay. Oh, there you go. Just trying to drag this across. Give me a sec, guys. It's my Litecoin chart. And where's my... Oh, are you kidding? Didn't save my settings. Come on. Surely. It's still bullish. What can I say? Is there an entry point? No. So we missed the entry point. But let me just close a few things here. So in Litecoin's sense, it's just starting the trend, and it's come to a major resistance. That's what I had on my chart. That's a major resistance there, where it currently is. So if I was to get my lines, why is my PC slowing down again? So if I was to, come on. That's okay. Now it's refreshed. How does that work? How does that work? So that was my chart that I posted early today for Litecoin, and so it hit the main resistance, and it's not really progressing from there, is it? It's just basically what done. It's basically similar to what Bitcoin's done. It's hit a major resistance band, and it's going to take a bit of effort to dig its way out of it. So accumulation, the purple band there is where you buy. I think it will go sideways before it breaks up. Similar to Bitcoin, if Bitcoin moves up, Litecoin's going to move up. That's how I see it. So I'll leave that one there. I do see this as a bullish structure. So the lows are getting higher and higher, but it's at a major resistance point, and I think it will break. It's just what we're going to see is in that box, we're going to see some consolidation. Can we argue that this is above? Is that the main resistance, or is it holding? I'm not sure. It's not a clear picture as to if it's above resistance or underneath resistance. It's really hard to tell. And if I was to buy, I would buy. If it pulls back, I'll buy there. Okay, and what else have we got? Thanks a lot and get better soon. Nice work. Okay, thank you. STMX. So Ripple, STMX. Give me a sec. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but we expected that. Yeah, that's it for a week or two. Can't do habit, you just gotta wait. Just gotta wait it out. Okay. All right. Bye. Okay, what are we doing? So I've got SRMX, no SRM. I'll jump on to the other two. Just a look. So I really documented SRM very extensively. So there's a post on it. These are all the opportunities on SRM. Many opportunities, and right here seems to be. Oh, it's not a good time to enter now, is it? But what it's done is it's broken away from this structure, and it might just keep pulling away. Yeah, so there's no real good entry point now. You want to see a pullback, and it's. But if it was to pull back, I would use. Is it the 4-hour chart? Yeah, I'll use a 4-hour chart to find an entrance. So that will support there. So it's broken away. And if I was to add the indicators, give us a sec. Yeah, a bit of a bearish divergence there, based on this indicator. MACD doesn't quite tell it, but this one does. And yeah, I do see it pull back a bit, and might just pull back part. So yeah, it might just pull back more deep. So don't worry about SRM. Just wait for the pullback and then reassess at the moment. Where's my XRP? Sol's still looking good. XRP. Actually, before I go to XRP, let me look at Dodge. I haven't seen that for a while. That's one, not Dodge. That's Uni. Don't need that. Win. So Win is looking like testing this trend line, and it could be a real, keep an eye on it, because this could really reverse and just go up. And the formations is bullish, definitely. So this could go back up to the 0.382, with the 0.5 being the first resistance. So if I was to look at that closely, yeah. So let's just, I'll close that. I'll go for Ripple. Where is it? XRP. I'm sure a lot of people want XRP. XRP was looking bullish. Now the question is, where's a good entry for it? It's all about that, really. If you miss the entry, so that's where Ripple, that was your entry point there on the breakout. Now it's gone up. It's pretty much almost hit its target, really. So Ripple's target was this level or this level. And obviously the top level, all-time high. This has gone sideways a fair bit. It doesn't really give you any signal of going in or out. This one was good. This one was obvious. A continuation pattern. This is, I think this is a continuation pattern as well. It doesn't look like a reversal, but it's ugly. It's like would it move after it hits this green moving average? Probably, and then up. So far, it looks like an accumulation and a continuation pattern. So what we like to do is trade with trends, right? But where a lot of coins that they're not in the trends anymore. This one is. So this was at a nice upward trend, a very deep pullback, and a continuation of the trend. Now the question is, that was all-time high. It's not going to get past it. I don't think so. And very much, if that's a channel, or is that, it could be a channel. So what we do is, so if it hits that bottom trend line, give me a sec. Feel it pop away. Yeah, so if that's a channel, That looks right to me. And I would use this bottom level. It's slightly curved up a bit, and I dare say, surely not, but maybe. If it breaks that trend line, if I can point that down a bit more, you're going to get a bull momentum if it breaks that level. So price gets to this midpoint, and it's going to either go up or down. And I would trade that breakout for XRP, and then that fits into the big picture of a bullish structure. So yeah, the targets are pretty clear. I mean, that level is probably where the target is, top of this channel as well. So if this breaks up, it makes sense that all-time high is sort of equivalent to the top of this channel. Yeah, and that's my thoughts on XRP. Not sure it'll be a good time. Yep. Ethereum, Ripple, Litecoin, STMX. All right. So let's say that. I like that one. I'll keep an eye on Ripple. Bit of yeah, it's pretty bearish, isn't it? Whatever. So that's got similar. It's a bit slower than Ripple, but it's got the same structure, really. But this one's on the bottom. So this purple band that I had there in the past, you can see how it's acting like resistance, really. If you go across with support, so that band is what's holding it back. And okay, Bitcoin, what are you doing? Like I said to you, that we were a pullback, and now there's a bit of support. I'm looking, what is this time frame? This is a 1 hour. It's not going to help me. No, I'll get STMX. STMX. Another freaking same pattern. What I'll do, same symbol, different time frame. Okay, so what I'll do is get a bigger time frame on the daily on the right. What a move, huh? Wish you got it down there. So let's put on auto. Let's see what it does. Log. So the MACD's dropped a fair bit on the daily. If I look at this indicator, it's pushing down. It doesn't really give you anything though. It's the early signs of a trend. And the trend I'll potentially like to use of 4 hour really. Let's look on the 1 hour. Let me see what it's done. So if I do the 1 hour, it's pretty flat. No, there's nothing there I like really to trade with. Can't tell. The daily looks bullish, but it's not going to give me a level to enter. That was if I was to look at this, there's no history to compare it with. That's why it's hard. So the only thing I have is Fibonacci levels, and then we apply the Fibonacci tool. Multi-holding ratio tool. Now let's adjust this a bit. Not everything makes sense with the wicks. Can we do that as the top? The previous wick here probably makes sense. Can't work it out. It's too difficult, this one. Doesn't give you many clues. MACD is still pretty crossed over on the daily, so that's a little sign, but it's in the southern, the bottom negative quarter. It's not really up. So to me, gut feeling is it's just going to go sideways for the time being. So here on the 4 hour, what is it, 4 hour? If I was to assume a formation, see what happens from that breakout. But this one was nice formation. Is this anything similar? No, it's not. It's different. That's a bearish divergence playing out on this tool. MACD, yep, bearish divergence just playing out. I would look for on the 1 hour on this one. For my 13th crossover, so that's crossed over. It's difficult. So let's do the fib level. Fib from there to there. Nah, it didn't pull back deep enough for my liking, although it's found support there. 0.5, yeah. The only thing, I just don't feel comfortable with this trend line, so I'll leave it at that. No, there's better charts. That's my opinion. Just leave it. Too much guesswork, too much risk. The wifey looks good actually. It's building up. So there's a breakout pattern coming in there. Just straight line. Right there. I would trade the breakout of that. 3 touches. I'll look for the 4th touch for the breakout. At the moment, it's 3 touches. 1, 2, 3 distinct pullbacks with lower highs. Sorry, high lows. I keep mixing them up. High lows and 3 touches. It's either buy on the retest or wait for it and then buy on the breakout. So there's 2 scenarios on that one for wifey. And that level is significant based on the historical part. You might have another 1 extra layer there, which will stuff things up a bit. So I'll wait for that other layer to break through as well. And you can see, yep, I think the second target is still relevant there. Waves. Don't look. So waves is I've got some waves. Just the question is, do I buy more? And I should have. Stuff. Okay. The other day was just around here retesting this line. So now waves has hit this target of mine. If it breaks that, that's going to be crazy. If it breaks this level for waves, well, where's the here from here? Oh, let's do a proper job on that. This is a major resistance there. It's got a fair bit to go, and I suppose there's a resistance level here, but that is a bullish sign. The way it's just bounced off and found that. So apply the fib to it as well. There might be confluence with the fib. Problems with the wicks. So I would say that that level there, that makes sense there. I think that's definitely a resistance level there. It's not a 618, but it might get there. And obviously the 618, there's a number of levels there. If it breaks this level, that's pretty much a around bottom formation. That waves could pretty much be a good one to buy. Yeah, bro. Yeah, it did. Yeah, might as well. Tomorrow. Yeah, I'll pick you up. Yeah, I'm doing a live stream, bro. So I'll talk to you. Right. Sol BTC. Sol's still looking good in my opinion. The way this MACD is coming, and it's just closing up. The line, it's not strong, but it's closing up. Looking to cross over again. Could be a rejection, but at the moment, I do have Sol. Would I add more to it? No, not yet. But there's a nice trend. And what it's done is see this section here where there was a bit of a pause and a consolidation for continuation. Well, this might be another one, a big macro one, and a continuation. Don't know what the formation is, but I would definitely say if it comes down to this level where this line is, that will be my buy zone. So if it comes down, that will be my buy zone. And currently, looking at that, yeah, everything looks good with the trend at a macro level. So you can see this one keeps finding its resistance on this level. So run perp was doing great, but hasn't given me anything to enter. Theta, such a disappointing one. Didn't perform as what it used to do. And every time I look at this chart, it keeps on getting knocked back at these two lines. This black trend line, that one there, keeps getting knocked back from that. And then I've got this upper trend line. If it breaks it, so not interested in the theta until it breaks these two levels. Actually, let's see, that's A, B, C, B. It might break up, wouldn't it? Can there be inverted head and shoulders? Sure. But this one here is a major resistance there. It just goes all the way up. So Yes, theta. I would wait for that. I'll be interested for that to break. Can I change that line? Maybe there's a new formation taking place. Bit of a squeeze. Could that be it there? No, it could be. As I said, prefer that one there. Just keep an eye on that one. Therefore, so I might just put a alert on that one. I had an alert on this one. That's the same, isn't it? Okay, true. Still, okay. How did hot go? Based on my forecast, not there yet. Close that one. See fuel. Such an idiot. I watch it break out and then I didn't enter it. And look what it's done. Now you can see if I was to move this line, no kidding, that's its resistance. And it's pretty much hit its target based on this wedge. So bit of a sell off, I think. I think we'll come down again a bit. I'll be interested if it breaks this level. It looks bullish. One harmony. So I bought harmony. I think harmony long term is going to be good. And it's done the same structure. Look at that. And I think it's looking to break out. Actually, this is a bit better, more advanced. So it's retesting. That's why I did it. Forgot. Harmony is likely to go up from this point onwards. So there's one tip for you there. The reason being is the MACD, the way it's poised, it's really looking to turn its nose up. And I did my box here was the accumulation area, and what it did is it broke this trend line, which is a significant trend line, resistance line, right? And what it's doing now is it's testing it. Bang, bang. There's two touches. Similar to Bitcoin, actually. So if it breaks that level, like you just imagine another level up, it's going. So if I bring that with Bitcoin, here's the point. Let's just save that. I want to delete everything. I'll delete everything so it just like looks clean. Just want to delete it. Come on. What do I do? Kill it? Delete, come on. Too much to delete? Freaking out. So look at these charts in a small time frame. That moving average is perfect. And you can see this formation. Pretty much a descending wedge. You can see the break came through that point there. And you see a broadening wedge or a channel, you want to call it, two formations where price broke out. Okay. Now, I did say that we can argue that this is a line that it also played a role. And I did say this line as well played a role. And I said that it played a role to that point there, and then it failed, and this line picked it up, the other one, and pushed it up. Moving average plays a role, and I'm sure along these lines. So if I was to use that section there and move it across, it was a level for support, right? You might not see it here. You see it a slight resistance there, but a support there. But the moving average was the main one, and I'm pretty sure the fib level would have been one as well. Where's the fib? Use it, that one there? No fib. All right, hold on, let me do this. Was it this point here? Okay, that might have been the point there. Ignore this, where this wave starts from the beginning, so that played the role. Yeah, that's a bit aligned. Now, where was I before? Was it one? Now this is another fib level. So we're looking at any confluence with that. So here we have another trend line. Strong resistance, breaks through it, through that support. Moving averages, you can see the moving average come to play. So moving averages, there's a few of them, and I think they're the they're the 10 and 20 moving average on the 4 hour. No. That one. What happened to my moving average? That one, okay. Doesn't give the label. What is the label? It's the 10. Daily 10. So daily? Yeah. And the 20. And you can see how the daily 10 and 20 are really concentrated as support. So this is going to come down. This moving average will be a perfect level to buy on top of this Fibonacci level. I don't know how I got that Fibonacci level, but I did. Where did I get the Fibonacci level from? That's better. Don't know what happened there. So it's a 0.382 fib level. Heaps of moving averages at that level. So everything, and that trend line, this is a good buying position for Harmony. So here's my tip for you. That level is a buy position. If it comes in, if it dips there, buy it. That blue line is pretty much one more touch, and I think it will go up. That has confluence with Bitcoin, similar to here, or here, sorry. With the trend lines, support, and if the moving average has to do it, again, support. So I aligned it with that scenario with Harmony. So that's my tip for Harmony. INJ, I did post it, and let's see how it's doing now. Yeah, so INJ had conditions to meet. It's finding resistance at that fib level and previous support, so it got rejected. But let's see where that goes. I don't think it's going to go lower, but it's an ugly one to trade. Can't tell. I'll leave INJ out of it. Comp, that's what comp's doing. This was good. Tip from my brother. It's been doing really well against Bitcoin. But I think it's hit its target based on my US dollar chart. So I had the 1.618. It hit it, and there was a pullback, and it looks like it might pull back. That's my feeling. It's hit my local target. It's just coincidence that it's 1.618 golden ratio. And what time frame is that? That's 4 hours. The wicks tell us, the top wicks already told us the story. But it wouldn't surprise me if it keeps going up, but that was the initial target. And looking at, why have I got one here? Okay, that's the extension. So I do see the macro target is this range. So that's the macro target. It's got more to go, which is about 900 to 1080. So if this pulls back a bit, it's not done. And if you count the wave count, I think so 3 to 4 is playing out. If it plays out, it's one of these levels where it's going to come down to. Potentially down here will be a good buying zone. So I would wait for this area, to tell the truth, for INJ. Oh, sorry, comp. Could have the bad misfortune of it, just continuing on from here. But the fact that it hit this level, and I expect a deeper pullback. That's my comp thoughts. Cake. I think Cake did it as well. Did its target. Oh, where's my fib? Where's my fibs? Is that the one? No, it's gone. Hold on. Not that one. Not that one. No, my charts, that crash didn't save it. Okay. I think that was a target there, and now it's a bit of a pullback. Let's see. If I was to pull this back a bit, where's that? I thought that was the case. Could be wrong. Close enough to a target. Maybe I'll bring this down lower. No, was that point there? Maybe that was the point there. One of these. I don't think it was that. It did fall short of the target, and so I do see a bit of a reversal pullback. A, B, C. A, B. Just a little bit more to C. Potential. And another bounce. And who knows what it's going to do. But the ABC correction, I don't think that it's ABC where A and B are at the same level. But maybe. But I would wait for Cake to pull back a bit more. B and B. I'm going to wrap it up, guys. It's been a while. B and B. So these long lines are all moving averages on the weekly or daily. Can't autocorrect. Yeah. What are you doing? That's crazy. Why is this not correcting? Freaking annoying shit. So it broke that main level where my grade section is. So I think BNB is going to, that's BNB for me. And an initial target is this structure's height. Rough number. So to me, BNB is going to hit about 780, 770, based on that structure. It's already broken it. You can see the retesting at that level. Prior resistance, and then pull back, breaks it, first touch, support. Now it just has a little resistance level there. I think it's just going to create a bullish continuation pattern, and then off it goes, BNB. And I think I'm done, guys. It's I didn't expect to do it this long. I've got a mouth that wants to keep talking. But hopefully you benefit. I think I've covered everyone's requests, and I'll leave it at that. Have a good evening. It's a good evening for me at nearly 9 p.m. I'm going to have some tea, relax, and then come back a few hours from now, and then maybe make 1 or 2 trades. And that's it for me, guys. Stay tuned for tomorrow. I might do a quick 1 or 2 video post updates. And if anyone's interested in this kind of stuff, but more detail, if you want to learn from me, I'll do a plugin. I am interested in doing a weekly thing like this, but more about trades. And so what I do is I'm going to do daily scans and narrow it down to a few charts and do the same analysis and get some tips. But if you're interested in that, it will be subscription based, $30 a week. And I'll leave it at that. If anyone's interested, just contact me directly and I'll point you in the right direction. All right, thank you. Enjoy. Thanks, Crypto Win. I'd like your support. And see you later. Cheers. Okay, so let us also add the YouTube channel for those who want to follow it on YouTube. Comments is there, so might have to look at two screens at once, because I tend to look at the trading view for the commentary, and I'll not be forgetting the others. Oh, I split up my machine. Sorry guys, but something just... guys, but something just went crazy on my machine. I'm not happy about that. So that doesn't help. I'll explain a few things. And you can see my fib level here. If I move that across, and now you're going to see how price respects this fib level. If I get rid of the moving averages for the time being, you can see price respected that level on the way up, and that was a fib level retracement 0.5. And now price was finding here a bit of resistance, 0.618, and good for us. It's broken it decisively, so it's likely to use this as support. And if you look across, and remember that there's many layers of resistance and support, and we have this significant resistance here. This is the main one, and I'll make that in yellow. There's a significant resistance there, and you can now understand that you acted as support in some instances, resistance there, resistance there, resistance, support, and in a big way, because when price came up, it was the one that stopped everything and went down. And when price came up again, it stopped it again. So in this yellow line is the most significant resistance level out. So we haven't reached there yet, and we'd probably like to reach there, and it's my gut feeling that we will get a significant pullback. So, what's significant? We'll get a response. So here we had a response, and it pulled back, not too much, but it did pull back. And so this yellow level, which is about 59,500, I doubt it will get to 60,000, but that might be the case where we will get a rejection. And the fact that we had 1, 2, 3 impulses, this is going to be the third impulse. If this was to pull back and break it decisively, then it could use it as support, just like this one here. So this scenario here, if it was to do that, break up, actually I'll give you a better way of doing that. If it grinds like this, it's not going to work. If you have price grinding like that, you can see it just doesn't work. What you want to see is price do what it just did under resistance, and then bang, break through it. So far, let me just change the color on that. Keep white. So far, we had resistance and support, and we broke through this resistance line decisively. So this level is likely to hold and consolidate. So if this was to hit there, it's going to consolidate and it will try and make another effort. That's what we need to watch. How likely is it to break it? Based on this, first attempt, complete rejection. So when this comes there, the first touch will be a rejection. It's just, that's what you should put in your mind when you're doing trading. That first touch is usually a good rejection. And then if price holds that level, holds at a significant level, then what it can do is wear it down. Okay, so this is the area to watch. This band has always been so let me put the band there. This band is the layer that we need to break. How likely are we to break it? That's the key question. I don't know, to tell the truth. My expectation is that we come to the second band. Okay, the second band is definitely a rejection area, but it could be the most bullish move. Now, let's have a scenario. Let's look at a historical perspective from a fib level. Okay, so what's happened is so far. Okay, it might come back down here, and we can do a bit of a triangle formation and just break up, and then maybe come down again. Whatever the case may be, this level, if we were to break this level decisively, then we can continue on, which I find very hard to accept. It's very bullish, but it might be the case. I can't tell you anything at this point. All I can tell you is there was a good entry on a number of levels. Now we're coming to the typical stage, which is that, and no one can tell you what's going to happen. No one can tell you it's going to go up, down. All I can tell you is, looking at this previous chart level, this is strong resistance. I'm going to find strong resistance with the first touch. I might as well sell. And just to make a point, like I said, I like to back up my words. Where am I? Here. And just a sec, and I'll show you what I mean. So here's an example of, because you might want to understand certain things. No, I don't want to do that. What I'll do is, you can see where I entered my Bitcoin there, which is roughly around here. And I'll raise my stop limit to that white level. And you can see where I'll put my price to sell, which is about, I don't know, 59,400. I'm not going greedy. And I'm looking to sell there. So I've entered there, looking to sell there. I mean, raising my stop, which is good practice, underneath the whole structure. So if it was to come down, it wouldn't go down below that. So I'm giving a trading strategy, and then I will sell there, close my thing there. Okay. So that's how I approach it. And I'll just back up my words as to what I'm been saying. Where you go? Where's the chart? Okay. Okay, so that's what I got for Bitcoin at the moment. In a way, that you can look at this chart from a weekly perspective. So what happened also on the monthly, we just closed the monthly chart. And the monthly is pretty good. So if we look at the monthly chart, where are we? And what I'm going to do is just hide a lot of that stuff, fix all that. You can see the monthly is bullish, right? Look at the candlestick on the monthly. Just bear with me, guys. I want to get onto the YouTube channel so I can make sure there's people asking questions that I can answer those ones as well.